Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture series of Design of Steel Structures. Myself Sudhir B. Gaike, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. So in this video, we are going to start with design of your compression member, built-up compression member using lacing system or battening system. Initially, generally for your end semester examination, this problem is asked when the compression load acting on your column section is greater. In that cases, your regular rolled sections are incapable to take that particular load, and usually in order to understand the moment of inertia and radius of gyration of two combined section, we are generally adapting this built up type of column type of system. Usually in this system we are going with double channel sections, either face to face or back to back. So the description, the numerical or statement for this particular numerical I am going to mention in description box. You just check the statement of numerical in description box. I am directly starting with the given data for numerical, correct? So in this particular numerical, according to statement I have written this particular description and given data, correct? So initially given data is given as load of 1080 kilonewton is acting on a built up column. So you need to design a built up column in order to carry a load of 1080 kilonewtons, correct? Then ultimate strength or grade of your steel is 410 MPa. Yield strength of your steel is given as 250, that is already for every problem we are adapting. Ultimate strength of bolt is 400 MPa. Usually suppose this value is not mentioned, you refer the instructions given at the top page of your question paper if the ultimate strength of bolt is not mentioned. So here it is for 4.6 grade 400 MPa. Then partial safety factor gamma m0 1.1, gamma m1 1.25, m16 bolts we are going to add up. If in examination question paper grade diameter and grade of bolt is not mentioned, you may assume that. So here we are going with m16 bolts. So according to m16 and 4.6, you can write now diameter will be 16 mm, then diameter of hole will be equal to 18 mm according to clearance of 2 mm. Then partial safety factor for bolts, that is gamma mb 1.25. Then here area of shank is pi by 4 into diameter square, that is 16 square equals to 210 mm square. And again because of provision of your threads, there will be reduction in area, and that is equal to 0.78 times. So 0.78 into ASB value, so 156.78 mm square, correct? Length of the column given is 10,000 mm, that is nothing but 10 meter height of column is given. And again end conditions are mentioned as both ends are hinged. So the condition is both ends are hinged. So according to table number 11, page number 45, you need to refer the end conditions, and according to the rotation and translation provided, whether it is restrained and not restrained, depending upon that you need to define the length. So according to both end hinged, the condition is what? K value is equal to 1. Therefore effective length is going to be equal to again same value, that is equal to 10 meters or 10,000 mm. Getting? So according to this particular given data, you need to proceed with design of a column, and it is a built up column consisting of two sections. Combinedly we are going to add up. So either that combination may be face to face or it may be back to back, correct? So proceeding with first step, design of column. Initially for design problem, you need to identify the cross section that is to be adapted, and for that again common formula we are adapting. Always design strength or compressive strength PD equals to area effective into FCD value, correct? So here the cross section is not known, only we are known with the amount of loading acting on your section, that is equal to 1080 kilonewton. So here initially you need to assume certain FCD value to calculate the area required, and usually for double angle sections we are assuming FCD value in the range of 130 to 150 MPa. So here I am adapting FCD value is equal to 150. This is assumed value for calculating your area, correct? So assuming 150 MPa as your design compressive strength, I am calculating area required. So area will be total load divided by FCD, and that is equal to 7200 mm square. So the amount of cross sectional area required in order to carry a load of 1080 kilonewton is 7200 mm square. Always while selecting your section, what we are seeing, we are assuming whether it is a single section or whether it is a double section. So here we are going with double section, therefore you need to calculate area half of this calculated value, correct? So 7200 divided by 2, that is for built up column two channel sections back to back or face to face can be adapted. So while selecting in your steel table, only single area is mentioned. So therefore divide this total calculated area by 2 and you are getting as 3600 mm square, and certainly 20 to 25% we are increasing the value, correct? So adapting section, Indian standard medium weight channel ISMC 300 at the rate 351.2 Newton per meter. Copy down the properties. So properties from steel table I have just written here. The cross sectional area, that is 4564 mm square. Then again CG along y side, CYY value is 23.6. Then again radius of gyration along z axis and along y axis. So along z axis, that is major axis, it is 118.1, and along minor axis ry, it is 26.1. Radius of gyration rz and ry. Then thickness of flange, thickness of web, moment of inertia about z axis, moment of inertia about y axis. Again I am repeating, this z value is nothing but it is mentioned as Ixx in your steel table, correct? So all this width of flange, all properties I have taken from steel table after calculating the area for single channel based on the assumption of FCD value, correct? So for this calculated value, now calculating the design compressive strength. Next is check for compressive strength, PD is equal to area into FCD, or area effective into FCD. Here this area effective is based on this particular given value 4564, but for FCD calculations, FCD depends upon slenderness ratio, and that is KL by R value. KL is effective length, and that is known to us, equals to 10,000. But regarding R value, that is radius of gyration, we are available with two radius of gyration. First is along Z side, second is along Y side. Now here, instead of adapting this particular Y value equals to that value is 26.1, we are going to adapt value as 118.1. So reason for this is what? Your section is symmetrical about this horizontal Z axis. There is no another parallel axis for Z side. There is parallel axis for vertical Y side. So in short, the moment of inertia and radius of gyration will be depending upon the spacing between the section. If you are going to increase the spacing, there will be change in your moment of inertia and radius of gyration. So along your RY side, moment of inertia and radius of gyration will be depending upon spacing, and this particular spacing is not known to us up to step number 3. Correct? At this step, your RZ value is not known to us, RY value is not known to us. Therefore, assuming RZ value as minimum, correct? Assuming RZ as minimum, we are going to calculate the slenderness ratio. So therefore, area is given KL by R value, assuming RZ value as minimum. So KL by R is 84.67. So it is a lambda value, and in case of lacing column or laced column, you need to improve the slenderness ratio by 5%, correct? So that clause number 7615, slenderness ratio calculated value is increased by 5%. So factor of 1.05 will be multiplied with 84.67. So you are getting value of 88.90. So just you check clause number 7615, 7.6.1.5, where that 5% improvement is given, correct? So according to double sections, we are going to adapt that. So for lambda equivalent 88.90, and it is a built up section, therefore buckling class of C, table 9C, you are getting FCD value by interpolation, as our value is in the range of 80 and 90. So just doing the interpolation, FCD value will be equal to 122.65, and your PD calculation is equal to area effective into FCD. So just multiply, you are getting area PD value is equal to 1119.5. So near about 1120 kilonewton. So after adapting double angle, double channel section back to back, you are getting design compressive strength 1120 kilonewton, which is almost equal to greater than 1080 kilonewton. Correct? So for strength purpose or compressive strength purpose, your selected section is okay. Getting? Now starting with the spacing between the channel. At what distance your channel should be spaced? And for that, according to clause number 7611, what 7611 is telling, the radius of gyration or moment of inertia about for the axis perpendicular to plane of lacing, correct? For the axis, that is y axis, perpendicular to the plane of lacing should be at least equal to moment of inertia of axis parallel to plane of lacing, correct? So in short, directly according to formula, your moment of inertia about y side should be equal to moment of inertia about z side. So always from steel table, if you are observing values of moment of inertia for major axis, that is z is greater. Here you can see that it is 6326 into 10 raised to 4 mm raised to 4. Similarly for y side it is what? 310, only 310. So moment of inertia about y side is always lesser one, and that is more chances of buckling along that side. Therefore we are going to improve its moment of inertia about y side also. So according to that clause 7611, moment of inertia for axis perpendicular to the plane of lacing should be equal to at least parallel to the plane of lacing. So according to that you can write moment of inertia about y side should be equal to z side, or zxx should be equal to your ixx should be equal to your iyy value. Correct? So putting the values, we are known with the moment of inertia for both the axis, z axis and y axis. So you can write here 2 times your izz value equals to, now applying here ig plus ah square, that is parallel axis theorem. And according to parallel axis theorem, ig is the given moment of inertia, a is the area of section, and h is the distance between or perpendicular distance between two parallel axes. So a distance between two parallel axes is nothing but what? It is cyy value, that is given as per your steel table, plus spacing divided by 2 value, half of the spacing divided by 2 value. Correct? If in case of you are going for channel section face to face, in that cases there will be change in formula, only s minus, this will be cyy minus s by 2. This is the only change in the formula, rest process is going to remain same. Correct? So here we are adapting back to back, therefore your formula will be cyy plus your spacing divided by 2, half of the value, plus cyy is nothing but that is the distance between your two parallel axes. This is the distance between two parallel axes given as h value. Correct? So putting that value here, so all the terms are known except s by 2 value or s value. So calculating that, you are getting spacing between the section as 183.10. We'll round figure that value to 184 mm. Correct? So we are adapting ISMC 300 at a distance of 184 mm for a built up laced column. Getting? Now next is lacing system. For designing of lacing system, initially we are going to assume the inclination of lacing system. That inclination is center of your lacing flat along with your horizontal axis. This is the inclination as 45 degrees. So according to clause 764, it should be 40 to 70 degrees. Correct? So we are assuming here as 45 degree. So try single lacing system assuming inclination of 45 degree. Correct? So likewise sketch we are going to get here inclined with horizontal axis as 45 degree, 45 degree. Correct? And it is a single lacing system overlapped with each other. So therefore design of lacing system or design of lacing flat, initially spacing of lacing. So what must be this particular spacing between the lacing? So here it is a right angle triangle, and for right angle triangle spacing we are knowing that spacing is equal to 184. Getting? And we are assuming gauge distance beyond this particular web portion of your channel, gauge distance as 50 mm. On either sides gauge distance will be equal to 50 mm. So entirely horizontal distance we are getting as what? 184, that is spacing, plus 50 from this side and again 50 from this side. So entirely this total figure is 284 mm. Correct? So horizontal this sloping distance is equal to 284. Using this you need to calculate this one. So suppose this is a right angle triangle, this is 90 degree. Correct? This angle is known to us. So opposite side is a value. Correct? This will be your hypotenuse and this is adjacent. So adapting tan of 45. Correct? Adapting tan angle, tan of 45 will be equal to your horizontal distance divided by your opposite side. Getting? That is a value. So a is equal to 45 degree, therefore it will be in short equal to again same 284 value. So 284. Now here you can observe that spacing is what? It is double of your calculated value. This is a value and again this will be a value. So in short spacing is 2 times a. So spacing will be equal to, just multiply 284 with 2 value, you will be getting 568 mm. So your spacing between your lacing flats will be equal to 568 mm. Getting? Now slenderness ratio for this adapted value. What is the slenderness ratio for the calculated spacing value? And that is given as a divided by ry. So this ry is according to clause number 765. Correct? So here according to 765, a is your length value, a is your 568 spacing value, and ry is least radius of gyration for given section, that is ry equals to 26.1. Getting? So putting the values, you are getting 21.72, which should be equal to or less than 50 value. So already we are getting less value as 21.72, and again it should be 0.7 times of your slenderness ratio, effective slenderness ratio, lambda equivalent. Getting? So that is again equal to 62.23. Therefore, it is safe. Slenderness ratio for lacing flat is safe. Now next step is maximum shear force acting on your lacing flat. So always maximum shear force acting on lacing flat is 2.5% of total load acting on your compression member. So here 2.5% of total load 1080, that will be equal to 27 kilonewton. Correct? So total load on lacing flat is 27 kilonewton, and which is equally divided into number of planes, that is divided by 2 value, near about 13.5 or 14 kilonewton value will be there. So likewise will be the geometry. This is the total force acting on this VT force, that is 2.5% of your total load, and which will be taken by this particular two lacing flats. Suppose I am telling that this is P1 value and this is P2 value, and this opposite side exactly force is 27 kilonewton. Correct? So distance between them is 90 degree and total is 360. Therefore 270 by 2 is 135 degree and 135 degree. So adapting Lami's theorem, here you can calculate what is the force between your individual flats, and that is equal to value as 19.09 kilonewton. This is the force acting in one lacing flat as 19.09 kilonewton. Correct? 19.09 kilonewton. Now for design of lacing flat, according to clause 762, initially you need to decide the width of flat, and width of flat should be at least equal to 3 times the diameter of bolt. So we are adapting 16 mm diameter of bolts, therefore it will be 16 into 3 as 45, again round figure it to 2 mm increasing, you will be getting 50 mm as width. So width of flat we are adapting as 50 mm, therefore next is thickness of flat. So according to clause 763, thickness is 1 by 40 of your horizontal distance, inclined distance. Now this 284 divided by cos of 45 is what? It is the length of lacing flat. In short, this is your 284 value and you need to calculate this length. So length of flat, correct? So length of flat is nothing but it is 1 by cos of value. So here I have written 284 divided by cos of 45 and you are getting as 12 mm is the thickness of flat. So we will be adapting 50 F12. So Indian standard flat 50 by 12 we are going to adapt as lacing flats. Correct? Now provide 50 F12 flats for which your radius of gyration. So radius of gyration we are calculating as under root of moment of inertia divided by area. So moment of inertia for plate is what? So it will be width multiplied by t cube divided by 12. So b into t cube divided by 12 divided by area will be b into t value. So rearranging the terms we will be getting as 12 divided by thickness divided by root of 12. So thickness is again we are adapting 12 mm, therefore radius of gyration will be 3.46 mm. So this radius of gyration we are calculating to calculate the compressive strength of flat. Correct? So here it is calculated. Initially calculating the lambda value, lambda L by R value, length is again same. Here we have calculated 284 by cos of 45 divided by least radius of gyration 3.46. So you are getting 115.94 lambda value, and which should be less than 145 always. Correct? Radius of gyration for your lacing flat should be less than 145 according to clause 7663. Correct? So for this it is a buckling class C. Calculate FCD value. You are getting FCD as 88.125 by adapting interpolation for slenderness ratio 115.94 and buckling class C. So table number 9C and interpolation you will be getting FCD as 88.125. So calculating compressive strength PD, area of flat is what? 50 into 12. Correct? Multiplied by FCD is 88.125. So final answer is 52.87, which is greater than force acting. What is the force acting? It is 19.09 kilonewton. So for compressive strength, your lacing flat adapted is safe to carry the load. Similarly, now design of connection. Correct? Now for connection, two types of shear failures are there: shear failure and bearing failure. So initially here, instead of going for second calculation, that is bearing strength calculation, which depends upon edge distance, pitch distance, everything, you directly assume always shearing strength as minimum value. Therefore only single value I have calculated here, that is design shearing strength of bolt, and that depends upon number of shearing planes. So here we are adapting overlapping flats. So in case of overlapping flats, number of connecting plates will be equal to, that will be 3 value, and shearing planes depends upon number of connecting plates minus 1, that is 2 value. Therefore here I have written ultimate strength of bolt divided by root of 3 into partial safety factor for bolting multiplied by NN. So NN is 2 number of shearing planes multiplied by A and B. A and B value we have calculated initially only. correct? So I am getting strength as 57.94 and directly I am assuming this as minimum strength. So bolt value is decided based on the minimum value of VDSB and VDPB, that is minimum of shearing strength of bolt and bearing strength of bolt, correct? So therefore here assuming shearing strength as minimum value, you directly calculate what are the number of bolts. So I am writing number of bolts equal to total force acting is 27 kilonewton, we have written here, total shear force divided by strength of one bolt. So one bolt is 57, so near about it is equal to 0.47. So minimum one bolt should be provided. Therefore I am writing provide M60 grade one bolts at every intersection of your lacing flats, correct? So now next the next will be your strength of flat. So already compressive strength of flat we have calculated. Now similarly it should carry your tensile force also, and design of the tensile strength of section depends upon yielding of gross section and rupture of critical section. In your tension member design unit number 1 B part we have seen tension member design. So tension member fails because of yielding of gross section, rupture of critical section, and third is your block shear failure. But usually for flat sections or plate sections, single bolting block shear failure will not be there. Therefore we are going with only two calculations, that is TDG and TDN, that is rupture of critical section. So TDG is given as A gross into Fy divided by partial safety factor gamma m0. So calculating that value you are getting 136 kilonewton. So almost it is greater than 19 value. Therefore it is safe for TDG also. Similarly TDN, that is rupture of critical section. Here you need to calculate A net value, and always A net is by deducting the diameter of hole. So diameter of hole given is 18 mm. So 50 minus 18, that value you need to consider, multiplied by thickness of 12 mm. Correct? So you are getting 0.9 ANFU by gamma m1 value as 113.25. Again it is greater than 19.09 kilonewton. Therefore it is safe in rupture of critical section also. So in short, your adapted lacing flat of 50 by 12, 50 mm width and 12 mm thickness is capable of carrying compressive force as well as tensile force due to yielding of cross section and rupture of critical section. So here lacing design is completed. Now we are going towards your tie plate design. So tie plate is usually provided at the starting and end of your lacing flats, correct? So suppose for a height of column is equal to 10 meter given here, at the starting of zero value at ground level and ultimately at top level. Likewise at two locations you are going to provide your tie plate. In some cases it may be provided at intermediate height also for 5 meters. So in order to decide the size of tie plate, the dimensions are to be decided initially depth, correct? So overall depth or depth of the tie plate, so it is spacing plus 2 times CYY value, and that is equal to 231 mm. Always it should be greater than 2 times width of flange, correct? So this is width of flange, this is width of flange, 2 times VF value it should be greater. So 90 mm is the width of flange, so at least it should be equal to 180, and already it is greater than 180, that is 231. Therefore it is safe. Then again overall distance by considering the edge distance. So calculated value plus 2 into edge distance. Now edge distance is 1.5 times of your diameter of hole or 1.7 times of diameter of hole. So it will be equal to 285, round figure it to 290 mm. Now calculated depth is 290. Now similarly go for length. Length should be at least equal to overall width value, this entire value, and that is nothing but what? Spacing plus 2 times BF. So spacing plus 2 times BF is 364 mm. You cannot go beyond that value, correct? Because projection of your adapted plate should not be beyond your flange section. Therefore this should not be round figured. 364 is exact value, always adapt same. And thickness 150 of your gauge distance. Gauge distance is 50 100 mm plus 184. So 1 by 50 of your calculated value you are getting is equal to 5.67, and that is 6 mm. Correct? So adapting your plate of 364 as depth, then width 290 as depth, and 6 mm as a plate. Correct? So here that design of tie plate is completed, and this will be your final sketch showing at least your tie plate at bottom side and one spacing of lacing. So spacing adapted is 568 with M16 bolt, single bolt, and lacing flat is of Indian standard flat 50 by 8, and these are the details of tie plates with bolts and again pitch distance or gauge distance. In some cases, suppose it is exceeding the maximum value of pitch distance, you can increase number of bolts here. Here only 4 bolts I have shown. If it is increasing the maximum pitch distance or exceeding the maximum pitch distance, you can increase one more row of bolts also. So likewise, this is the entire design problem of built up column using lacing system. This particular problem may be partially asked for 6 or 8 marks, that is half of the problem, only deciding the sizes of your lacing flat, calculating the shear force. Likewise details they may ask in your examination, they may directly mention these particular details with spacing, or in some cases they may ask the problem only to calculate up to spacing value. So likewise, partially your problem is asked up to 6 to 8 marks, or in some cases for end semester it may be asked for 10 marks. Correct? So here the entire numerical is completed. The statement for numerical I will mention in description box. You just check that. Correct? In the next video, we will be dealing with same type of problem only with batten type of system, battening type of system. So thank you.